Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's live business coaching. My name is Ogbo, Awoke Ogbo. And did it occur to you that the average person is exposed to over 10,000 brand messages per day? Think about it. It's coming in different places. It's your WhatsApp messages, uh, different advertisements on Facebook, on LinkedIn, all over the internet, plus the ones you see on television, plus the ones you see along the streets, on billboards, every single day. The average person is inundated with messages. The ones coming on WhatsApp, the ones coming on your SMSs. Everyone is bombarded with messages. And then to worsen it, the attention span, the human attention span has been shown to have declined significantly over the past 10 years. And then, as if that is not enough, 90% of content receives no engagement. This is by research. And so one of the things you find content creators complaining about all the time is nobody is viewing my post. Nobody is reacting to my post. And then when you go online, it is not uncommon to see so many creators literally begging people, like my post, like my comment. This is the massive problem. And then not only that, because many of these platforms right now, especially Facebook, Instagram, you pay to play. So it's very expensive, developing content, then building a studio, renting a studio, and all that is a very challenging thing. So tonight, we will be looking at the 7 laws to fix this. So if you're a content creator, a small business owner, and then you have some online presence, you have a website, you have a business, you have social media handle, this is your day. So pay very close attention to everything that I'm going to say, because this is coming from years of experience as a content creator. And then many of you know that I'm really very massive. I have massive followership, especially on LinkedIn, and then a little bit on Facebook. And not only that, I have been producing content copiously for years, since 2009 that I was on television. So you are going to get some scoop tonight, some value that you can apply and immediately begin to see engagement. So while we're at it, please introduce yourself in the comment section. Let us know which country you are watching from. This is day 15 of the 1000 days of live business coaching, and this happens every 8 p.m. except on special days when there's a clash in my calendar, and then I would always let you know ahead of time that the time is different. Please introduce yourself. I can see John Blay, I can see Henry, I can see Victor. Introduce yourself. I see Irene. Let us know where you are watching from, and then tell us what you do. Tell us what you do, because part of the goal for these 1000 days of business coaching is also to create a formidable community where you can find market for your product and services, where you can actually find cross-border partnerships to grow your business. So Franklin is watching from Abuja. King Shud has joined the live session. Tell us where you are watching from and let us know who you are. Timmy Peace or Ladele, you are very, very welcome. So today we're looking at the 7 unbreakable laws of content success. All right, everybody type in the comment section 7 laws. Type 7 laws, because you're going to have to learn and understand and internalize these 7 laws so that you can see massive content, massive success in your content marketing, massive success in your sales. Adereti, I see you from Osun State. I see Dennis. Swen from Sierra Leone, and I see Lost in Honor has 7 laws. Yes, everyone type 7 laws in the chat. Now, the reason I always ask you to type in the comment section, and anytime you hear something that's really an aha moment for you, something that's made your day, I encourage you to type it. You hear a statement, a phrase, or I share with you a very, very valuable point, put it in the comment section. The reason I ask you to do it is when you type these things, when you respond to what you are listening to in some way, it registers on your nervous system. And so it is easier to remember because you have typed it or you've written it down in the comment section. So make it a habit to always type. When I tell you to type in the comment section, please do that. Or whenever you hear something that is a great insight you can apply in your business, please type it in the chat. Yes, 7 laws. Everyone type 7 laws. I'm going to give you 7 laws that is going to revolutionize your digital marketing like it did mine. And then currently, these are the countries that are represented in the live sessions that will be happening for 1,000 days. Today is day 15 of the 1,000 days. And if your country is not yet represented in what you see on the screen, please type your country, type it in the comment section, and then we will update it before tomorrow's section. Remember that this happens every 8 p.m. every day at 8 p.m. for the next 1,000 years. I beg your pardon, next 1,000 days. And then I'm going to tell you why you want to be part of every single day. If you do happen to miss it by any chance, the replays are always in the gallery on Facebook and also on YouTube. Who am I and what gives me the audacity to do this for 1,000 days? My name is Ogbo, Awoke Ogbo, and I have been blessed. I've been incredibly blessed in my career working with 2 global companies, multinationals, Shell and Chevron. I have also been incredibly blessed, working with Stanford University, the Stanford Graduate School of Business, and then rubbing minds with the top business professors in the world, and sometimes teaching in the same room with them. That was incredibly gracious, and I'm thankful for that. I have taught so many business leaders at the Lagos Business School as an adjunct faculty. And I also adjunct with China Europe International Business School, where I've interacted with literally hundreds of business owners. And then, but what I am most proud of is having raised a godly family. That's like my number one goal, to build a happy home where there is love, there is respect, and there is a nurturing environment for the children. Now, what do I want you to get out of this event? What do I want you to get out of this 1,000 days of live business coaching? 3 things. Number one, you are going to be able to develop skills and strategies to attain financial independence. Everybody type financial independence in the comment section. We live in a money universe. We live in a financial universe. If you do not solve your financial troubles, you will not have the mental peace. You will not have the mental space to be able to solve all of their problems. And you can type that in the chat. If you do not solve your financial problems, you will lack the mental space to be able to solve all of their problems, because everything else revolves around it. The money quarrels in the relationship, the money quarrels at home, the money quarrels and with your landlord because the rent is not enough, the complaining that you do in the marketplace because you go there and then there's food inflation and everything goes up. All those things, if you do not solve your financial problems and attain a measure of financial independence, this is going to be a difficult world for you. So that's why I'm taking this very, very seriously. And the next 885 days that is left, you are going to get the skills to become financially free. The second thing is also because of my connection and my passion for businesses, which is the passion that took me through working with Stanford University, which is the passion that's taken me through the path of business coaching, is to see your business grow big. There's no reason to remain small. Okay, there is absolutely no reason to remain small. And then you can type that in the comment section. There is no reason for my business to remain small. Type that in the comment section. There is no reason for my business to remain small. Okay, and then thirdly, what you're going to get through this event is being able to build a happy home. A happy home. Because think about it. What is it going to profit you? You become a billionaire. You have all the money you can think about in the whole world. But then you have a very unhappy home. And then you have children that you cannot trust your legacy. One of the saddest stories I heard a couple of years ago was about a military general, very popular military general in Nigeria, who died suddenly. He had an accident and then died. And people who were very close to the family were talking about how, I'm trying not to use that word useless, that his children were, especially his first son, who was in drugs and all kinds of things. So when you build the wealth and then you don't build your family, all the things you spent your years building can disappear, can be destroyed within 6 months of your leaving the planet. So you are going to learn over the next couple of days how to build happy homes, happy relationships, happy parenting, so that you can nurture your children. Does this sound exciting? Please type in the chat. Does that sound very, very exciting? Yes. Dennis, I can see what you've written all the way from Sierra Leone. There's no reason for my business to remain small. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So let's get into today's agenda. We have just completed the introduction, and then there are 7 laws. Okay. And we're going to take these laws one after the other. I'm going to explain what the law is, and then I will also tell you how you can begin to implement it. Yes, Aderity, I can see that. Yes, excited and incredibly gracious. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so, and now I made these 7 laws very easy to remember. So the law number 1 is to lead with love. So I prefaced all of them with lead with, just to make it very easy and very memorable for you, and also very actionable, so that anytime you sit behind your computer to work on your content, or you're shooting it, or you're creating it or crafting it in whatever way, all these things will be very easy, very accessible for you to use in your content production. So lead with love, lead with purpose, lead with creativity, lead with authenticity, lead with process, lead with curiosity, and then finally, lead with persistence. So I have that acronym: love people, create amazing, passionate content, and persist. So you can actually screen capture that. And then if you remember that, each of those letters stand for the 7 laws. Love stands for love. The P in people stands for purpose. The C stands for creativity. The A in amazing stands for authenticity. The P in passionate stands for process. The C in content stands for curiosity. And the P in persist, of course, stands for persistence. Are you loving this? Are you loving this? Great. Type in the chat. Type in the chat. Okay. So let's start with the very first law. Lead with love and empathy. I want to emphasize this. If you fail this law number one, everything else will fail. You will not succeed in content creation. Remember, it's called law. It's called a principle. If you do not succeed with this very first one, that also applies to business, because of course your business has to create some kind of content in today's economy. So we live in the what people call the content economy, as it were. And so your business, I can see in Jideka here, you have a financial services business. Of course, you will need to produce content. The flyers you print, the email communications with your customers, and all that. All right. Everyone is into some form of content production. So it's not just those, who make comedy skits, that we listen to, or those who have podcasts. So the number one, pay attention, because if you miss this one, nothing else will work. Nothing else will work. So the first law is that it is not about you. It is about the audience. So audience. I want this to register in your brain. Type in the comment section. Audience is everything. Audience. Type in the comment section. Audience. Now, you do not start your content production business model by thinking about yourself. You have to think about the audience. I can't stress this enough, because it is when you serve the audience with love from your heart. It's actually a labor of love. What I'm doing right now is not about me. It's actually about you, and it's a labor of love. So you can imagine the quality of material that I put out for you every evening for 1,000 days. If I don't have love and empathy in my heart, I cannot do this, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So type in the comment section, labor of love. So you've got to have that in mind, labor of love. When you are going into content production, always have your audience in mind. You are serving them first. You are putting them first. We are going to talk about monetization later, but don't go into content production or content creation bearing in mind yourself. Bear in mind the audience, because the key to your succeeding is the audience. The key to your success in content strategy is the audience. It's not you. You see, Zig Ziglar, who is late now, once said that you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. This is a very powerful quote that is worth remembering. You can have anything that you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. That's why you want to focus on your audience, help them to get what they want, and then there's nothing that you cannot have. So you can see all the content creators in different parts of the world, in Africa, in Europe, in the United States, who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then we have some Nigerians, especially the skit makers, who are earning as much as $4 million a month. And the other day, we heard about this famous Nigerian pastor who does, I think, morning prayers or something every day. And then there was this headline that he makes like 1.5 billion naira or something like that every month. Now, he didn't start thinking about himself. He serves the people. He gives the people what they want. So prioritize the needs of your audience over your own. All right? Know what their challenges are. Know their desires. Know their motivations. Like all of you here, I have taken some time to study your motivations, your challenges, and to discover that indeed, if I do not do the sort of thing I'm doing, many of you will never have access to the kind of information, to the kind of skills and coaching and knowledge that can help your businesses to grow. And then having worked with Stanford University, having taught many businesses in Lagos Business School and all that, and having worked with over 150 companies across 12 countries, I know a thing or two to teach you. And then many of you will not be able to afford Stanford graduate business school tuition. As of the time that I was still working with Stanford, the tuition for the executive MBA was $100,000, which in Nigeria, in the naira for Nigerians, that's like 150 million naira. So many people will not be able to afford that, but you need it. And because it's a challenge for you, you are still building up, you are still at the stage where you are trying to generate cash flow. You can't even pay me one-on-one yet, okay? But because I know these challenges and these desires and these motivations, I can help you to grow. So you see why I said it is labor of love. It is labor of love. What I'm giving you is what people used to pay thousands of dollars to come and learn from us in the Stanford University program, Stanford Seed. Okay, so let's take the law number 2. Okay, everybody type purpose. Purpose. Purpose is one of the most important words for a content creator. In content creation, purpose is critical. You've got to define your mission. Who are you serving? We talked about the audience. What do you do? What outcome? So one important question I want you to write down, type it in the chat and also put it in your journal and think through it all the time. What will people become by consuming your content? What's in your mind? What is your vision? What's your purpose for the people you are serving? Because in my mind is very, very clear. So as I see you people here from the beginning, and of course I told you 3 things that I expect you to come out of this experience with. Remember the 3 things: financial independence, big business, big scale business, large scale business. So Njideka, that your business has got to grow beyond Onitsha. It should go to Port Harcourt, it should go to Abuja, it should come to Lagos, it should go to Ghana. There is no reason why what you're doing right now cannot go to Ghana or Sierra Leone or Cameroon. The only limitation is in our thinking. Okay? Therefore, because that is what I want you to become, it now informs my content so that everything I produce will be impactful. Everything I produce, and if you go to all my posts, whether it is on LinkedIn or it is on YouTube or it's on Facebook, all of them have to do with these 3 things I want you to become. Number 1, I want you to become financially free. Number 2, I want you to scale your business to be a big business leader. And then number 3, I want you to have a godly home, a happy family, where there's no domestic violence, where there's no quarreling about anything, about money, where you're actually there to uplift one another, where there's laughter. The laughter in my household is priceless. Just hearing, like this evening, my wife is talking with my son and then they are laughing. It is priceless. There's nothing you can pay for that. So that's why, because I have a purpose, I'm leading with purpose, all my content are geared toward these 3 things. Go through, when you finish tonight, go through all my content. Go to YouTube, go to LinkedIn, go to Facebook, go to search me out in this new one, TikTok. Okay, every single post has something to do with those 3 things: financial fitness, financial independence, big business, running your business well, structuring your business for growth, scaling your business, or family. So you see marriage posts, you see family posts and things like that, okay? Because I'm leading with purpose. So define the purpose of your content. The reason is, I see so many content creators just post very dirty, gross things just because they want people to laugh. So every day I open my feed, I keep purging it and I say, Facebook, I don't want to see this, because you can actually control your feed. I say, I don't want to see this kind of content. Very, very dirty, purposeless content. Many times just because they want to have views or they want to have reactions. So they are posting pictures, women body parts and things like that, making jokes like that, even the skits. It's so some of his kids, consuming them is like consuming water from the gutter. And that's actually how it feels to your soul, to your mind. There are many things you watch on social media that you shouldn't be watching. And they may not be bad though in themselves, but it's filth. And then so it's like drinking water from the gutter. And you see, it is garbage in, garbage out. So it is the same thing for you as a creator. You want to give people clean water. You want to give people things that will feed them. And so even if you want to make comedy, it can still be comedy. It can still be clean. A comedy doesn't have to be immoral, to be lascivious, to be disrespectful to women, to be talking about, all those things that people want to talk about and things like that. That gutter language, it doesn't have to be there. There are some really excellent comedies that are not filthy, that are very healthy, and I do watch some of them. Okay, so lead with purpose is important. So create content with meaningful impact. Avoid the temptation to create just so that you will get likes and views. Please put this down. I want to pause to put it because it's a common problem with content creators. Avoid the temptation to create just for views because it's going to take you off purpose. So type that in the comment section. Avoid the temptation to create just for views and for likes, okay? And then let that sink in very, very much, okay? I see you, Okereke Dan, welcome. Okon, I see you, welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for joining. Christiana Onyemaichi, and then the regulars, Lawson, I see you. Malik, I see you. Malik is from the Gambia. Okay, great. So now let's go with the law number 3. Remember, the first law is lead with love and empathy. The second law is lead with purpose. It's very, very important to define the purpose of your content. Don't just post. And then the other sad thing people do is they just copy and paste. So you can tell a purposeless content creator because they just copy and paste. It also has to do with this law number 3. Lead with creativity. Creativity is the backbone of content creation. Write it down. Creativity is the backbone of content creation. Write it down. And you know the function of a backbone. If you don't have a skeleton, if they extract your skeleton right now, you become a worm. Okay? You become a worm. And you see, like the internet that you are using right now has infrastructure. They have a backbone. If you remove that backbone, there will be no infrastructure. So in the same way, the backbone of content creation is creativity. If you do not have creativity, or if you do not exhibit your creativity, you will burn out and then you will not succeed in content creation. So content creation should reflect your utmost brand, the you brand. And the only way you can distinguish yourself from everybody else is through your creativity. Through your creativity. Because if you just copy and paste and then you copy jokes and paste on your wall, that's not creativity. So dare to be different. Dare to be original. When I started a couple of years ago, and that was mostly for LinkedIn, I started producing content while jogging. That was original. like in the whole of the country. Nobody was doing it. And so it became the May brand. And people so associated all those videos because every morning I was jogging. I will um, I will I'll be jogging and then producing content at the same time. So I was so known with that system, that creativity, that one day, it was very, very funny. One day, a popular Nigerian billionaire, some of you know, produced his own video and he was in the gym. And then he was doing push-up and doing some things, and I saw some people comment and some people said to me, they say, this guy has started doing like you. He started doing like you. And I think after a couple of episodes, he stopped. He's not doing it again, or at least not as regularly. So we see him more with big vehicles and then private jets and things like that. So be very creative. Dare to be different. Dare to be original. Bring out your message in a way that no one else is doing it. And be fearless when you do that. Okay? All right. Are you getting value? Are you still getting value? Are you getting any ahas? Type aha in the comment section. Let me just know that you're engaging and that you're following what I'm talking about. Okay. I see Anna Cornelia. Anna, welcome to the live. Anna, tell us what country you are joining us from. Yes. Aderity says financial independence, big business, happy and peaceful family. Fantastic. Malik says incredible values. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know. So let's go to law of content creation number 4. Authenticity. Everybody type authenticity. I can't emphasize these laws enough because there's so much fakery, so much faking, so much untruth in social media among content creators. And I do not know why they do it. Now, so you can lie to your audience in your content, and you can lie and then generate, 1 million followers. But you see, those ones will not stay. Don't become what you are not just because you want followers. They will not stay. I tell you, the social media strategy or the content strategy you want to pursue is a marathon. It's years of relationships, and I can tell you how it works. Many people who are buying my private coaching services today have followed me. They tell me that they followed me right from the time of I was on television, STV. And guess what? This was 2009 to 2014, 5 years. And then I went on Facebook. They will say, I have been following you since your television days. Some people say, I was in secondary school when I started following you, and I never missed it. And then somebody said, I used to go to work late following you. And then if you observe some of the comments on my posts on LinkedIn, you will see some of these posts. People say, I've been following you. And then recently a lady said, I've been following you for 2 years before she now bought my private coaching program. So it pays on the long term because you don't have to pretend 9 years later and become somebody different from what you were 9 years ago. You don't have to be somebody different 6 months. And it is okay if people reject you for who you are, because you are not there for everybody. The number one sign of mental illness on social media is to try to make everybody like you. Everybody cannot like you. So on Facebook, there are at least 3.5 billion, if not up to 4 billion people on Facebook. It is okay if a couple of millions of people hate you. 4 billion is a large number. So don't turn yourself into what you are not. just because you want people to like you. Because when you are not consistent with character, they begin to leave. Then again, the powerful thing about that is that the people who do stay eventually are the people who are meant for you. So it's better that the people who resonate with the values that I'm giving, who resonate with my whatever, because if, for instance, I don't want to attract people and followers who do not resonate with my values. I do not want to attract followers who hate family. I do not want to attract followers, who think small, who don't want to big build business. I do not want to attract followers, who are fake. I don't. Therefore, it's okay that I do not have 10 million followers, but the 50,000 who follow me are what we call in social media terms, my tribe. And so it's better that you find your tribe by being authentic, people who really love you and who really appreciate what you do. So I'd rather have 1,000 people who truly love what I'm doing on social media and they are taking action and changing and transforming their lives than I have 1 million people, who are neither there nor there. And the only way you can create such loyalty is speak from the heart. Tell the truth. Show your humanness. Be very vulnerable. Many of you have been hearing my story, how vulnerable I am. I tell you people how I made stupid money mistakes. I didn't tell my wife, and then I secretly put money in one scheme, and then that's how we lost over $100,000 of my savings. I tell you those things. I tell you how I've also owed money. So I don't come there and I'm telling you stories like, oh, I'm there. And I don't have Lamborghini. I don't have mansions. I don't have private jets. And I keep telling you that. I also tell you that I'm not rich. I'm only wise. So I do not pretend to be what I'm not. And then for many of you, that's why you're connected with me. That's why you continue to read my posts, even though other people abuse me and they say different things. They call me names and they leave. It's a good thing because my social media strategy is to repel. Other people post to attract, but I do my posts to repel those who should not be in my environment, who should not be in my community. Is this making sense to you? I know this is counterintuitive. Other people post to attract followers. I post to repel. How? Because I post authentic. I post with authenticity. I tell real life stories. I speak from my heart. I tell you that. And so, people who do not want to hear truth, people who only want to see packaging and lies, they won't like it. So they leave, and that's fine. Okay? Is this making sense? Type in the chat. Makes sense. Type in the chat. Makes sense. Is this making sense? Yes, makes sense. Great. Okay. Law number 5. Lead with process. Please calm down and understand the next statement I'm going to make. Lead with process. What does this mean? Detach yourself from outcomes. Detach yourself from outcomes. People put themselves under pressure because they have expectations. Okay, if I start posting today, I want to get 5,000 followers in 2 weeks. Then they start posting every day, and then after 2 weeks, they only see maybe 85 followers, and they become depressed. But if you detach yourself from the outcome and then you practice that first law, that is not about you, it's actually these people, just continue to do what you're doing. So prioritize your creativity over the result. And then a lot of people, especially now that some African countries have been monetized on Facebook, people are going crazy. And so they are going in there for the money, not for the labor of love. Remember I told you, it's the labor of love. You're teaching, you're building people, you are consistently showing up, you are helping people consistently. Look at what I'm doing. 1,000 days of doing the same thing for you that I do for that people pay to attend to get in business schools. The same topics, and I bring it down. Okay, this lecture, that's a lecture that I am easily called to deliver in Lagos Business School, but you're getting it for free. And so I'm detaching myself from likes and reactions, because if you don't, it's like what's happening in my YouTube videos. My YouTube channel has been there for a while, and then I post, and then I go there, I see 4 views, I see 16 views, and I see similar videos that are not even as value filled. And I'm sure you can tell from listening to me the kind of value my videos on YouTube have. And then those ones are doing 23,000, 650k views, and it's just 5 days that they released it. If I do not detach myself from those outcomes, and then I begin to look at other people. Some people drop things. There are so many creators on YouTube. They drop content today. 2 days time, the thing has 750,000 views, and it has up to 1,000 reactions and comments. I could go crazy. But you see, I have peace because I detached myself from those outcomes. So it's okay if I post and then there is 0 views. I have videos like that. It is okay because I'm leading with process. And process says prioritize your creative journey over the end result. Because if you detach yourself from the outcome, then you can enjoy the process of making the content, of serving the people, and just have the joy of putting out a piece of you out there. Because you see, you do not go into, for me, you don't want to go into content creation for the sake of going into content creation. It should be like a calling. Type calling. Everyone type calling in the comment section. And I can see Lucky, thanks for joining. I see Desmond as well. Ezebonwa, who just joined. Yeah. So type it in the comment section. Okay. So lead with process. Detach yourself from outcomes like likes, reactions, comments, views, and even monetization, because it's going to drive you crazy. And then again, you see, you hear people come online and then they tell stories. I was there on 1 month. Like I heard somebody, he started then in 1 month time, he made how many thousands of dollars. So you hear that sort of thing. Then you yourself, you start. And then after 3 months, you are just seeing something like $7.05. You will drive yourself crazy because you're too attached to the monetization. Detach from all this monetization craze. Detach. Focus on the process. Focus on developing yourself and focus on serving the audience. Is this making sense? Excellent. Yes, I see calling. So see it as a calling. Because if something is calling, then it doesn't depend on people's reactions. It doesn't depend on people's opinions. So I don't depend on them for my validation. So whether people press the likes, because sometimes I just cringe when people go online and they are begging people, please like my post. Like my post. My goodness. Follow me. And then I follow back. How? Why would I do that? So detach from those outcomes. Law number 6. Lead with curiosity. And this one speaks to continuous knowledge and then exploring new perspectives. Develop yourself. A couple of years ago, I don't know how many of you know Alibaba. Alibaba was probably the first biggest name in comedy in Nigeria. And the guy was extremely professional. He wasn't into all these dirty jokes that people are telling, and he was really doing very, very well. And he's considered the grandfather of the comedians. I think he's moved on to some other very, very big things. Okay, now, one day we had an event in Victoria Island at the Oriental Hotel. And so Alibaba and I, then there's Genevieve, the actress. We were all sitting on the high table. We had Leo Stan AK2. He was on the high table there, and we were sitting together. And then a couple of other, well known individuals. It was a leadership program. And then Alibaba told a story that while we were just waiting for the event to start, and then this guy said that it didn't come as a surprise to me. I was first of all surprised, but then it didn't come as a surprise. Alibaba said that more than 3/4 of his house are books. He reads, and that's why he's able to come up with content that resonates. And in fact, while we were there, as he was telling us that story, he just told one. Told very, very funny story. And it all came from his reading, lots of reading and researching and curiosity about things. So he said that, so he was talking about the declining quality of education in Nigeria. And then that a young man was invited for an interview. And then they asked him, what is drug abuse? And then Alibaba said that the young man said, can I give examples? That I don't know how to define it, but I can give you examples. So the interviewer said, yes, go ahead and give us examples. Then the young man started shouting, paracetamol, thunder, fire you. Aspirin, fire. Ampicillin, your father, he was very, very hilarious, But you see, that guy was very educated. He was leading. So the point I'm making is, as a content creator, you must read voraciously, seek knowledge, explore new perspectives, get to understand different cultures, what's going on in different cultures and things like that, okay? The other thing you really want to spend time understanding is the platform, because the platforms have their own nuances and they're very different. So there are some things you will do and then you blossom on YouTube. If you do it on Facebook, it doesn't work. There's some things you do on LinkedIn and then you can't do it on Facebook. So you've got to understand how the platform works. People talk about algorithm, and I mention it here, but I think you should forget about the algorithm, because the only algorithm from the previous law I talked about, the law of process, the only algorithm that you need to worry about is producing high quality content that serves your audience, that your audience love, that is helping them solve practical problems in their finances, in their health. Some of you probably know Aproko Doctor. Okay, see the high quality of content, and then his followership is in the hundreds of thousands, and then this guy drops something within 11 minutes. It already has like 20-something thousand comments. That is one perfect example of someone who obeys all these laws I have been telling you. He obeys the law of love and empathy, because every time he will use things that people really need to know about. And then he is also using the law of creativity, because so he has personalized this character or this couple, Nkechi and then somebody else, Emeka and Nkechi. How many of you know Aproko Doctor, or you follow him, or you know about him? Just type yes. Type yes in the comment section to prove what I'm telling you about. So he is leading with these 7 laws. So understand your data, understand the people who follow you, okay? Know how to read the data generated by the platforms. So what is retention on YouTube? What does it mean? Or you come to audience insight in Facebook, and then it tells you about the demographics. It tells you also where they're coming from. tells you all kinds of information. So understand the data, use it. Then many times you get comments, you get feedback, from the comments to your post. So listen to those social media feedback. Sometimes some people really give you some very valuable feedback. Okay, finally, law number 7, lead with persistence. My goodness, my goodness. If there is anything, any economy that you need persistence in, it is the content economy. You hardly start today and start seeing results. I have heard, like one incredible YouTuber now who has tons of millions of people following him. He said when he started, he said something like he posted, I'm thinking it's 700. I have to check again. 700 videos he did before he started seeing traction. And so you must stay consistent. The name of the game is consistency. The name of the game is consistency. And then many times you do not know the point you're about to give up. And it might just be that next video that can crack it for you and become incredibly viral. So if you go to my Facebook profile right now, you will see a casual video I made when I was planting some Malaysian variety of palm of the palm tree in my farm. I made it casually, but that is the most viral post I ever made. Most viral on Facebook right now. How many of you, if you've seen it, say yes. If you've seen that video, just type yes in the comment section. And when I did it, I did not know. It generated so much interest that it almost spun off another line of business because everybody's asking me, we want to buy Malaysian palm tree. But I wasn't selling. I was just planting my own and I showed it. That's how this thing has taken off. I don't know. I have to check how many views it is right now. But the thing is pursuing like 1 million, if not more. Okay, and all kinds of reactions and going on. Be consistent because you never know. Sometimes the audience can post surprises. You never really know what it is you will post casually. And then that's the thing that blows it up. Okay? And it's okay to embrace failure. It's okay to fail. It's okay to produce 10 videos, 20 videos, to make 100 posts and then nobody sees it. It is okay. Keep creating. That is a secret. Keep creating even when it appears that nobody is viewing it. Just keep learning. Like law number 6 says, keep making it better, but don't stop creating. Don't wait until it is perfect before you post it. Post it like that. Because I tell you, when I started a couple of years ago, I go back to some of the videos I did a couple of years ago. It's cringe-worthy. It's like, me? Is this me? But it's a growth process. And I'm keeping all those things. It's a growth process. I remember even when I used to appear on television, my program was Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. But when I started, I was calling it, because that's the way we were taught in school. It's not our mother tongue. Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. And then my wife corrected me. That thing is not wealthy. We're taught it's wealthy. But it's wealthy, healthy, and wise. So now when I go back and look at those television episodes, I cringe. But it is okay, it's part of the process. But can you imagine if I had said, let me wait until I get all my diction correct, until I perfect everything, I wouldn't be on television. I would never have been on television up to today. So keep creating even when you don't have views. Many times you don't even need 1 million views. You just need 1 view. I have done a post on my WhatsApp status that generated, people saw it, but 1 view, just 1 view. It generated such a project, a huge project from 1 view. Very, very huge project in the tens, Americans will say 8 figures. It did 8 figures. So many times it's not, you don't need a 1 million view. It might just take one person, a, a bank manager who has been looking for somebody in this particular area. It might just take a school owner, a famous school, famous primary school, famous secondary school, who reads it and say, oh my goodness, this is the person we're looking for. Come and teach our children. And then, and things can fly from there. So you do not always need 1 million views. Keep putting it there. Keep producing even when no one sees. You will be amazed. And then sometimes, like I tell my audience, because I have made content that kept people from taking their lives. And then in my family, we were discussing it the other day. People have reached out to me that they wanted to, one person said he was that he had bought everything to kill himself because, like he told me later, he was owing a bank. He said the interests have gone beyond him and they were driving him crazy, and that there was no other option than to end it all. Then he read something I posted. And then he said, maybe there is hope. And then this gentleman now continued. He told me, in fact, as he was talking with me, he was quoting the things I had posted, and he really binged on them until he came out of that depressive state and didn't kill himself. Do you think that God will reward me or not for that? He will. Question number 2, how much money could have paid? How much money will Facebook or anybody pay me for one human life who would have died, but he read my content and decided not to kill himself? He's not the only one. There are many people. And then for that one person who tells me what I've discovered in social media, for one person who comments or who tells me, reaches out to me, there are at least 100 more. So you never can tell who is reading and what is happening and how you are helping somebody, which goes back to that law number 1. It's a labor of love. And so sometimes your reward might not come in the form of money or monetization, but it will come in the form of incredible impact. I can't count, how many marriages my posts have healed. And the time that I was on television, my content has healed many marriages. I can't even count, but I can only know those ones who told me. There was one particular day, I finished talking, and then one man said, Mr. Ogbo, I've listened to you. What you said right now, that I walked out of my family, my marriage, and then the children. I left my wife and the children. I walked out 2 weeks ago, but I'm promising you that immediately after this, I'm going to go back to them. How much will you pay for that? So lead with persistence. Keep creating. Someone somewhere is reading. And then it might just be that content that you didn't create that that the world was waiting for. Okay, does this make sense? Type in the chat. Okay, so now, are you ready to transform your content game? So what I need you to do is go back to this recorded live, study those laws again, make notes, and then remember, like I taught you yesterday, I said whenever you hear something that is insightful and useful, there's a question I said you should ask yourself. Type that question in the chat. Let me see if those of you who have been coming remember. So I said, if you hear anything that is very, very insightful, there's a question I said you should ask yourself in order to make it actionable. Who remembers that question? Type it in the chat. Okay, so I want you to implement these things, and then you'll be amazed what's going to happen to your audience. I am telling you, you will come back to me, and I actually would like to hear from you how this series are helping you. Actually, I would love to hear from you. Put it in the comment section after, or come back to my wall. I'm going to ask a question, and then I want you to respond. How have this series been helping you in those 3 areas? Number 1, your financial fitness. Number 2, your business. And then number 3, your marriage and family relationship. Let me know. So that question is, how can I make this actionable? So please type that question exactly. Somebody has gotten it there. Yes, okay, Dan. How can I make this actionable? That is the question you need to ask every time we finish this, because I want to make sure that you're getting results, and then I want to make sure, yes, Patricia got it as well. How can I make this actionable? Okay, that's what I want you to do. Take action, blow your business, blow it up. Take action, blow up your financial situation in spite of what is going on in the country, all right, in the different economies. And then I would be the happiest man on earth that my labor of love is paying off. All right, so thank you all very much. This is where we are going to land it tonight, and we are just exactly on time. And I'm going to see you again, same time tomorrow. And until then, keep showing up, because you never know what's coming your way next.